I'm Robert Cortez from the Counseling Center, and I want to tell you about a useful tool to help you deal with your emotions as we try to make sense of this COVID-19 pandemic that is affecting all of us. Today I'm going to tell you about a concept called the Wise Mind. The Wise Mind comes from Dialectical Behavior Therapy and is a very effective tool when dealing with uncontrollable situations like the one that we are currently in. So if you look behind me, you'll see two diagrams. And if you think of these diagrams as sides of your mind, well, on this side you have what's called your reasonable mind or your rational mind. And that's made up of your past experience, your logic, statistics, right? It's the part of you that wants to make sense of what's going on right now, okay? On this side of you, you have the emotional mind. The emotional mind is the part of you that is scared, anxious, right? Perhaps doesn't want to get out of bed, stressed out by everything that's going on. Well, the key to using the Wise Mind is not to race back and forth, right? It's not about watching the news, trying to keep up with the numbers, find out how bad this situation really is. And it's also not about getting stuck in your emotions where, you're feeling super anxious or super depressed and maybe there's days you don't want to get out of bed, right? The key is to honor and acknowledge both sides, okay? And use what's called the Wise Mind, okay? Now, the Wise Mind, right, incorporates both sides of your mind. It means that on this side you say, I feel all of these emotions, right? And I know all of these facts, right? So basically, I will live in this place. So I feel this, and I know this, so I will do this, right? Let me repeat that, right? I feel this, and I know this, so I will do this. So whenever you have to make a difficult decision, right, or you're dealing with a difficult emotion, it's always best to try to incorporate the Wise Mind as you cope with that situation. It's just going to have you be a little more balanced, gain a little more clarity as you try to handle that distress that's going on. Okay? So that's the Wise Mind. I want to tell you about another concept really quickly, another useful, quick little tip on how to deal with difficult emotions. And that's called R.A.I.N. Let me see if I can get it to work. Right, so this is R.A.I.N. So R-A-I-N. It's R.A.I.N. So the R simply stands for recognize, right? So when you're dealing with an emotion like anxiety, let's use anxiety as an example, you start feeling your chest palpitating, maybe you have shortness of breath, maybe you start feeling sweaty. You're like, okay, R means to sort of recognize what's going on. So you're just like, something's happening here that doesn't quite feel right, okay? You then move to the A, which is to allow the experience to be there just as it is. So don't judge it, don't control it, don't fight it, don't try to change it. Just allow it to be there without owning it. So you're going to say something to yourself like, wow, anxiety is present right now. Something's going on, anxiety is here. Okay? You then want to move on to the I. Okay? The I means to investigate with kindness. So it's very important not to be harsh with yourself, and you just want to say, I wonder why this is happening. What's going on? Why now am I feeling this emotion? Okay? And then the N, by doing these first three steps, will allow you to develop a natural awareness which comes from not identifying with the experience. So again, you're not saying, oh my God, I'm so anxious, I'm so anxious, I'm so anxious. But you're more just kind of saying, okay, yes, there's this anxiety here, and I'm aware of it, right? And now, how can I move away from it? So sometimes the N also stands for navigate or nourish, whichever feels right for you. I like nourish because when I'm going through these tough emotions, this idea of then getting to this place where I can nourish myself, whether it's by, watching a funny YouTube video, doing some meditation, or doing some exercise, I like to use the N to sort of nourish myself back to my baseline, right? So that's R.A.I.N, R-A-I-N. And I told you about the Wise Mind. I hope those are useful tools. Please continue to be well, be safe, and take care of yourselves.